What's going on, guys? It's GBP baby. Welcome back to another video. I hope everybody's doing well, and I also suggest you go and watch yesterday's video if you haven't yet already. Let's get straight into things. So you'll see we've started to have the expansion to the downside, just as anticipated, with a nice down close day today on Wednesday. Beautiful expansion. If you join the Discord, you'll know that I was asking if anyone got in on the move. So it was a very nice move. You'll see we traded right into the range which I called out. We didn't quite reach the 50% level, which is what I was looking for, but nonetheless we traded to the 25% level, and we'll speak more about that as we drop down to the lower time frame. You can see how we've gapped lower as well, showing a level of bearishness, traded through that breaker, which is what we wanted to see, and we've also managed to fill an hourly or 4-hour fair value gap, which is this darker red box I have delineated. So moving into Thursday, I do believe we're going to have a continuation lower. So that means I want to see the high get made in London and then a continued, down close day with the expectation to start trading down into the discount. Now there is a fair value gap down here. However, I doubt price is going to get all the way down here this week. So I'm not too concerned about here. However, there is an implied fair value gap right here. So right here in this range, you'll see that there's only up close delivery. So as we drop down to the lower time frames, what we'll find in this range is we'll find fair value gaps that price may want to be reaching for, because like I said, looking at how we're closing on this down close day, it's very bearish, it's very heavy, so I'd like to see us continue on lower. What we can also do, because this is a weekly fair value gap between this low and this high, we can also grade these, so we can look at the 25% level to help us frame where we want to see price key off to help send it lower. So let's get this drawn out and we'll make it blue. And I'm also going to get rid of a few other things that we don't need on the charts as of now. So we no longer need this because we've grabbed those sell stops. We don't need this anymore. Don't really need this and don't really need that. So let's now go down to the 4-hour, and you'll see how beautifully we just tapped into there and then traded on lower with a large expansion during London. And since then we've just been consolidated in this hourly fair value gap, 4-hour fair value gap, right here. So here's that range I was talking about from the daily, and you'll see how there's a fair value gap lining up with that almost perfectly. So that's where I'm looking for price to draw to tomorrow. This level is that 25% level of the weekly gap I was talking about, so I'd like to think that we can find resistance there. As we drop down to the lower time frames, I will expect to find some kind of PDO raise around that price may want to key off. So let's go to the 1 hour now, and you'll see how we've just been in a consolidation. Nonetheless, there's a nice bearish order block right here and a breaker. We have a high, a low, a higher high, and we've broken lower. So I am looking at this range right here to help provide a resistance. So as we retrace back into there, I'm looking for shorting opportunities with longs on the pairs to help send it down below Wednesday's low through the daily mean threshold, and I'd like to think that we can try and reach down into this deep discount. Now obviously the mean threshold is still relevant, just because price should struggle to get through that, but once we trade through it, I want to see it act as resistance. So currently I'm looking at let me scroll across. Currently I'm watching this to see how we treat it, but once we get through it, price should be able to use it as resistance to help send it lower. So yeah, that's pretty much everything right there. Let's go to the 15-minute, and you'll see how we're just stuck in this consolidation, but nonetheless I'd like to think that we can retrace back up to this level and then start aiming for the daily mean threshold first, then fill in that weekly fair value gap, and then if price is overzealous, we will start thinking about that lower fair value gap right here. So pretty simple, absolutely gorgeous delivery today. We just fell right out of bed. Oh, very interesting, we didn't even trade back into it in the new day. We actually hit that at 9 o'clock in Asia. Very interesting. But if you know about the Asia range, then we could have used that range to help us frame price. You can see how we use it as resistance and then sent it lower since. So yeah, very interesting day, and like I said, I want to see a continuation down. Once we do reach down into this discount, then and only then will I think about a potential reversal. But with us coming to the end of the week and the fact that we don't have any high impact news on Friday, we do need to be careful moving into Friday, but I'll speak more on that tomorrow. Nonetheless, I'm looking to find resistance here. If we trade through this, then it's possible we may want to trade on higher and start thinking about Wednesday's highs. But so long as price continues to show resistance at this level, I'm happy to be bearish. And you can see there's also a breaker here, high, low, higher, high. So we look at the last down close candle, which is right here, that we pretty much already have delineated, and that's the very highest I want to see price trade for us to remain bearish on the dollar. So let's just get that daily low marked out as sell side liquidity, because I do believe this is where we want to draw to. And now we can move on to GBP USD. So we are going to start here on the daily, and you'll see we failed just about to reach our fair value gap. But obviously, if we're expecting low prices on dollar, that means we can expect higher prices on pound. And that's now where we can start to think about aiming for that fair value gap to actually get filled. So although we didn't reach it today, we can use that as a target for price moving into the new day. We now have a clear bullish order block. This red level will act as a bullish order block. So if price wants to retrace into that, I'll be looking for buys within that to help send price higher. However, depending on how bullish we are, we may not even get down there. So let's drop down to the 4 hour, and you'll see a beautiful expansion. Nice little retracement right there. I do believe this is engineered liquidity, and like I said, I'm looking for that bullish order block to send price higher. So I'd like to see us create the low of tomorrow around here between this range. This is a breaker. We've got a low, a high, a lower low, and then we've broken higher. So this range very specifically, I'm looking for price to trade into and then leave it. So again, I'm going to be looking at time and price in line with dollar, with the expectation that we may want to reverse there and potentially aim for that Wednesday high. So let's go to the 1 hour. We do have a breaker all the way down here as well. Price may want to get down there, low, high, lower, low. However, ideally we don't, purely just to remain bullish. Okay, and you'll see this is the Sunday level as well. So it's not just a bullish order block, because on daily you can see that is the open of the bullish order block. It's also the Sunday opening. So that's another reason why once price retraces down into that, we should be finding support, because we're on the premium of it. So we should be reaching for premium PD arrays. If we trade back below it, another story, but ideally we find continued support, and then that can help send price higher. Now we do have high impact news at 2 a.m. again tomorrow and on Friday as well. So that's more support as to why we want to see volatility on pound. Nonetheless, I am looking at these Wednesday's highs as a nice drawn liquidity. I do believe this is all just manipulation. Beautiful lows created there that I believe they're going to grab stops from, and then we'll probably see price action move higher tomorrow. So let's just take another closer look. There's an implied fair value gap right here. Go to the 5 minute. Do we see anything? Bullish order block. So yeah, I'm just looking to see how is price acting once it gets down into this discount, and then if it's at the right time, I want to see it leave it and set us up for potential longs to run up into here in line with dollar moving lower, assuming dollar does want to move lower. So that's how I'm watching pound. Pretty simple, but absolutely gorgeous move. Look at that. You can see how we traded down exactly to where I called out yesterday. So definitely go and watch yesterday's video. You can see how we respected that 50% level pretty much to the pip. You can't make that stuff up. And also time of day. So if you look at 3 a.m, that's where my setups usually form. If you want to know more about this, make sure to drop a comment. But 3 a.m, getting on a long, stop loss, and then we obviously targeted these highs, and then we let off partials as we keep reaching up towards them. But you can see we've just been in this consolidation for now. So again, I'm looking to create some kind of low, and then I want to see, can we now reach into that Wednesday high and trade into our ideal fair value gap in the premium. So that's everything on pound. Let's now finish up on euro, and you'll see that euro hits all our targets absolutely gorgeously. So a little bit more cautious on euro. So you can see we traded both through this swing high and now into this premium. And so our next target for euro is obviously this going to be this rejection block level. I want to see if we can trade up into that. Completely fine. We now have a bullish order block right there. Let's now drop down to the 4 hour, and what a beautiful expansion we've had on euro. So there's not really much on the 4 hour really. We can look at this fair value gap between this high and this low. You can see just about traded to the 25% level, but let's drop down to the 1 hour and see what we can identify. So again, more consolidation. We have a swing low right there. Again, this should be a breaker. Why? We've got a low, high, lower low, clear expansion to the upside. So if price trades back down into that, we're looking for price to find support at it. So we look at the last up close candle, drag it out, and this is the very lowest I want to see price trade to create the discount for us to be then trading on higher with a potential, and I say potential, reach for these highs. But the fact that we've moved so much and it's only Wednesday, I am going to be very, very cautious moving into Thursday and Friday, because as far as I'm concerned, I'm happy with price right now, as in I've got in on what I wanted to see, as in most of the expansion. So there's not really any rush or need for price to trade on higher for me. I'm content is what I'm saying. So that means when we are trading, we need to be more careful. So let's go to the 15-minute, and you'll see how we're just in a nice little consolidation. Nothing to stress about. And we do have a little breaker here, so it's going to be interesting to see if we do grab these lows. Ideally not, because it will show a lot of bullishness, and then we can start thinking about, you know, reaching into that premium. So I will just drag that out, and it'll be interesting to see how price treats that level, because if we are trading into this level at the same time we see dollar trading up into its premium, then we know that we can likely use that to form a setup for a long and run out those Wednesday highs that we're talking about. So I hope that all makes sense, guys. Make sure to drop a comment, drop a like, smash subscribe, and join the mailing list. And I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon. Peace.